Hello there. It's been a while. I would apologize for the length of time it's been since I've done a sharpening video. The only thing I can say is that I've kind of been in a funk, sort of. I have, let's see, one, two, I have three fairly active YouTube channels and then another that is a photography channel that is not as active because right now, in the wintertime and with the economy and the way things are going. Honestly, I know a lot of people won't believe this, but it's the truth. I can't afford the gas to actually go out every week and do photography. My financial situation is such that that's a real consideration. Like I said, I know people won't. I know a lot of people won't understand that, but I also know that there are a lot of people out there that will understand that. And so, I mean, that's the deal with that. So, but anyway, I'll do the best I can, and that's pretty much all I can promise. But this is my chef's knife. This is what I use. This is 98% of the time in the kitchen. This is all I use. Every now and then I'll use a bread knife, and very, very, very seldom I'll use a paring knife, but most of the time I find if I choke up on this and on the heel of this, I can pair with this just fine. I just ignore the rest of the length of the blade and go to town. It works just fine. So your mileage may vary and all of that kind of deal. We like what we like. But this knife has needed a touch-up for 2 or 3 months. I think the last time that I sharpened it was about a year ago, and I've been keeping it going on the steel. And I came in here, I guess, about 3 months ago, and ran it on a strop. And I just haven't been sharpening. That's, like I said, I've been in kind of a funk. I've been pushing the edges up a little bit with paste and stuff like that. But I haven't really taken the time. I've had time. I just haven't really taken time. I've been kind of, I don't want to say depressed because that's not really what it is, but it's just I get in these funks sometimes where I really don't want to do anything. I don't have to. It's not laziness, or it's just a kind of a mental state of mind that happens with me sometimes. And I think there's a lot of people out there that can relate to that. But I'm not depressed. I have a great life. I have a great family. I have all the things that I need, and a whole lot of stuff to be thankful for, and all of that. So it's not really depression. It's just kind of part of my personality. I know I'm on YouTube, and people think I'm used to it. I've been a musician all my life and played in front of a lot of people and stuff like that. But actually, I'm more of an introvert. I am an introvert at heart. That is my personality. When I was coming up, I would rather stay in my room and stick my nose in a book for 2 or 3 hours than to go out and play with anybody. It's just that's my personality, so that's probably a part of it too. But this is my medium India. We're going to do this stone today, and if I think we have time, I'll move to a Dan soft arc, but I'm probably not. Honestly, I will probably do that off camera so that I don't have a big long video, or maybe I'll do this as a two-parter. But honestly, this is the only flipping stone you need for a kitchen knife. Unless you're doing Japanese sushi and stuff like that. But if you're an American in a traditional, typical American household, you don't need anything but this unless your knife is really, really seriously damaged. And then a diamond plate maybe. A medium diamond plate, something like a 300 grit diamond plate. You could do it with the with a lower grit India or crystalline type stone as well. Uh, you could do it with all sorts of things. You could correct a lot of damage with just this medium Arkansas or medium India if you were patient. But this is pretty much all the stone. You know, I know you're going to hear, guys, and I know I'm 5 minutes into the video and I'm still yapping. But I'm a teacher. I teach sharpening. I'm not just doing these videos because I like to be on. We've already established I'm an introvert. Okay, the only reason I do these videos is to try to teach people that they can sharpen their knife. It's not a mysterious skill that everybody lacks and that only special kind of people can do. And you know, you can have a nice sharp knife every time you need it, and it ain't hard. So, but I don't even remember what I was talking about now. I know that you're going to see on YouTube a whole bunch of people, and you'll see me go to something like a black Arkansas a lot of times. Okay, that's a very fine stone. For most knife work, you don't need that. Sorry, I know you're going to see people on here on YouTube that, oh, you got to go through a progression of coarse and medium and fine and then a finished stone. And look, I'm not shaving my face with that. Okay? I don't have to go through the steps I would go to if I were to be sharpening a straight resin. You can, or actually that's more like honing, because you're going to sharpen it like I would a knife like this, but then you're going to hone it to progressively finer and finer edges until it feels good on your face when it cuts hair. That's a misnomer. People think that if I can put an edge on this and it'll shave the hair on my arm, well, that's shaving sharp. Well, no, it's not. It might shave your arm, but if you put that up to your face, you're going to find out it's not pleasant. So there's a difference. The piece of the ham that I cooked for Thanksgiving dinner yesterday doesn't care what it feels like. It's dead. It don't need that. You just need something that'll cut nice and clean. And as a matter of fact, something with a bit coarser of an edge will last longer in cutting tasks in the kitchen, and it works better because there's a bit of tooth on it, and it'll cut things like tomatoes and stuff like that. So let's go ahead and start this video and stop yapping. Actually, I'm going to go all the way to that's got to go out of the way. I'm going to go all the way to a burr on this stone. Just enough pressure to keep this on the stone. You don't need anything else. This stone will cut this metal with no issues. Once again, you're going to come, I'm coming down the stone because I'm not trying to create a recurve here. I want that straight. But I'm going to come down the stone a bit, and then I'm going to move it across the stone. And when I get to that curve in the tip, I'm going to raise up. So, and this right here is something I see very few people on YouTube that are teaching sharpening do. They'll teach you, well, actually, they're going, well, I have to do it this way. They're doing the Japanese stuff. I'm an American. I don't mean that the way it sounds. What I mean is that this is a technique that I was taught. This is the technique that I'm used to. This technique has served me. I am 59 in less than a month. And it has served me since I was 15. something like that, and it'll serve me till I'm dead. And so I prefer it, and that's why I use it. No other reason. There's nothing wrong with any of that kind of stuff. You see, I can't really do it all that well. I don't care for it. It's a personal opinion. This is simple. It's dead simple. And it works every single time if you do it right. If you create a consistent angle on this blade. Actually, what I would really love to have for knives like this and the larger knives that I have in my collection is like a 10 or 12 inch stone. A couple of different ones, something in this range, and then maybe a really long soft arc would be like perfect. I would love it. And it can still be 2 inch, but if I had the money, if I ever have the money to get a really long stone, I'll consider trying to do a 3 inch wide or 2.5 inch wide surface. But the length is what you need. This doesn't matter as much as the length of the stone, matching that length of the stone to the blade. This is the largest, the longest stone I've got, so that's what I'm using. But it does take a bit more skill, and that's pretty much the bottom line to it. It does take a bit more skill to use a shorter stone on a longer knife. Ideally with a knife, what you want is you want a stone that's as long or a little bit longer than the length of your blade. And you see this comes over probably 2.5 inches. So, you know. But that's alright. It's not like I said, this method has served me since I was 15. I don't have an issue with sharpening this way. One thing that I would tell you, what I would encourage you, now you can make any stone work, alright, if you can use what you have. In other words, if you've got a good stone laying around and you already have it and you're like me and don't always have the money to buy something like that, you know, you can use what you got if it's a decent stone. And quite frankly, almost any stone you've got will work. But if for a good all-around average stone for knives, try to get an 8-inch stone. Now you can get a 6-inch, and if all you're sharpening is the small little pocket knives, that'll work just fine. And this video is going to be longer because I haven't been on in a bit sharpening, and I miss you. So I'm going to talk a little bit while we sharpen. You can watch as much or as little of it as you want. You guys do anyway. My videos don't get but a few minutes worth of viewing time. Like at the most. And I guess that's a YouTube thing or a social media thing nowadays. That feels really sharp. Yeah, it's shaving hair already, but they don't feel a burr. Well, maybe. What about up here? It's almost sharpening, or almost shaving there. So, but anyway, you guys, it must be like a social media thing. I know that there's a lot that is said about the fact that people's attention spans are less and all of that than they used to be, that kind of thing. Excuse me. I needed to I want to keep this stone kind of clean. But anyway, I produce these videos, and I try not to leave out important parts. And if people want to watch the whole thing and glean the information I'm sharing with them, if they want to watch the whole thing because they like my personality or my company or my voice or anything else, then I'm happy for them to watch the whole video. And if they just want to come on and see a blade come across the stone for a few minutes and they're not really interested in the entire sharpening, you know, I'm good with that. Or whatever it is that, whatever motivates you to watch sharpening videos. I'm just glad you're here. Let's put it that way. But in the kitchen, I mean, you notice this is a 10-inch chef. Okay? In the kitchen, I like a long flipping chef's knife. I had a little 8-inch chef knife. I used an old hickory. I think Ontario Knife Company still makes them, if I'm not mistaken, although I can't find them very easily around here anymore. There used to be an old country store that sold a whole line of them. But I had an old hickory that I had. I bought it I saw it at a flea market, and now I'm going to flip over. I saw it at the flea market very long time ago, and it was old then, but it was a big 10-inch chef's knife. And I forget how much it was, but they didn't want very much for it. I don't think I even paid $10 for it, if I'm not mistaken. That was 30 years ago or more. And I used that knife in the kitchen for a really long time. And when we moved out here, I can't remember, but I lost it in the move somehow. Don't ask me how, but I did. And I tried to find another one, and they weren't to be found around here anymore. I remember that country store that I was talking about used to have them. Went down there, he didn't have that display anymore. And I wanted to get one of those. It was a 10-inch, if I haven't said. And they were nowhere to be found. And I was in 92, something like that. And oh yeah. Oh yeah. We're gonna go a bit longer though. But anyway, and I remember I saved and saved and saved and saved some more to buy this. At the time, I was watching Food Network pretty heavy. And they were all using these. And I bought a set of the I bought a set of the Martha Stewart collection knives from Kmart. Yeah, we had a Kmart there then. I believe it was Kmart. It might have been from Walmart, but I believe it was Kmart. And no, it was Walmart, I think, because I think that's who she had to deal with. But anyway, and they were decent knives. They were really sloppily ground. One side of the blade was thicker than the other. The bolster was thicker on one side than the other, and you had this scale would be thinner than this one, and but for the price that they wanted for it, which was not very much at all back then, they worked. I still have a couple of their knives. My bread knife is a Martha Stewart every day. But all that she offered was an 8-inch chef. And I tried, and I tried, and I tried to use that 8-inch chef. But I just can't stand a short knife in the kitchen. That's why I'll even use this to pare. This knife does everything pretty much that I need, except if I need a serrated edge. And then I've got my Martha Stewart Everyday Bread knife. And let's face it, that's a serrated edge. You could go down to the thrift store or the flea market and spend $1 on a big, long, serrated edge knife of some kind or other, and that work as a bread knife. It doesn't have to be really well tempered. It doesn't have to be anything special. It just has to have a serrated edge, and you just use that edge where you need serrations, and that's it. Okay, so and I saved for like a year or a year and a half to be able to afford this knife, and it's one of the best purchases that I've ever made. One of the very best purchases I've ever made. And I'm hoping that it will be with me till the day I pass from this earth. It works well once you get an edge on it. Like I said, I think it's been a year since I've sharpened this edge. And I went for about 3 months with an edge that would still shave. Okay? The hair on your arm, but it was not as keen or as sharp as I prefer my kitchen knife to be. And so, but like I said, I was in the funk, and then I happened to message a friend of mine, and yes, he's a friend. We've never met in person, but he's a dear friend to me. Wayne Bean. Yeah, Wayne, I hope you're watching. Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about right there. But I happened to message him, or to email him, so that I could say Happy Thanksgiving to him. And he contacted me, and we got to talking, and I told him, he watches my sharpening videos, but he's commented on my shaving videos as well. But he's more into sharpening than anything else. I don't know if he wet shaves or anything like that, or if he's interested in those videos or whatnot. But he is in the sharpening, and particularly the kind of stones I use, because they're old school, and he loves them as well. So, he messaged me here, or commented on one of my videos, and I basically just said, dude, I've been in kind of a funk and all. And while I was typing it out, I was like, man, yeah, I need to get back to sharpening. I need, I could sharpen here by myself and do absolutely nothing video-wise. And I'd be all right. I would just sharpen when I needed it and stuff like that. But I really need my viewers. I need to know that people appreciate what I'm doing, and I need, I need to talk to people about sharpening and things like that, because just like in everything else, when you have people that are into the same kind of thing that you are, it kind of pushes you to to do it more, you know. So, all right. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to switch out to my soft Arkansas. I may or I may not do another video on that if you guys are interested. I appreciate you watching. Bless you. Have a great one.